Hello, Andrew from Bushtracker here. Today I'd like to share with you some of the features that are unique to Bushtracker caravans. Now this caravan is our 18-foot Bushtracker. You may have seen it recently on some videos that we just completed. Okay, so with all our trailer wiring on the Bushtrackers, we like to run everything internally. So whether it's a 12-pin plug and the Anderson plug, it runs internally in the van all the way through and then pops out in the middle there. So this is fully protected from any stones and debris that might be thrown up when you are traveling off-road. Because of that, we like to hot dip galvanize this, so you have the galvanizing protecting inside as well as outside of the van. Additionally to that, we run a first line of defense on everything. So stones can and will pit away underneath the van, especially if you do a lot of extensive off-road traveling. So for that reason, we like to add this underbody spray to every single van. So once our floor goes on, we then give it this underbody spray, which becomes the first line of defense. That way stones can and will pit away at this rather than damaging the galvanized protection of the van. It's very easy to touch up down the track. Every 3 or 4 years, you might want to give it a freshen up. I'd like to talk now about this front area of our O-frame on the Bushtrackers. A lot of what you see here is all standard. So we like to future-proof our vans so that if you ever change vehicles from say a 3.5 ton tow capacity to a 4 or a 4.5, we give you Bartlett chains as standard, so it's useful for a Land Cruiser or even all the way up to an American tow vehicle. We also run heavy girder bars as standard as well, so you don't need to look at upgrading them down the track should you decide to get a much more powerful, more capable vehicle. All Bushtrackers come standard with this electric jack. It makes the life a lot easier. There's no more manually winding things up and wrecking shoulders or backs, etc. It's just simply push of a button, up you go, down you go, etc. Because there is power running to this, we also like to put in an Anderson plug brake here. So on the A-frame, there's actually a connection that you can disconnect, and now you have 12-volt power coming from the van to any item that you might want to run. So whether it's a fridge in the vehicle or an electric air compressor or anything like that, you have a power outlet as standard on the front here. Standard on every single Bushtracker are these side load tyre carriers. These carriers make it very easy for you to roll tyres on or off the van should you have a puncture. It's as simple as undoing these, pulling that down, and then you can easily roll a tyre off or on when needed. We do this side as a cage so that if you did want to leave a spare wheel at home, that becomes a fantastic area for storing dirty wet sullage hoses, wheel leveling ramps, timber, anything you like. And also for added protection, once this is shut, you can pop a padlock on each side as well, just to make it a little bit harder for people to get to things that might be in there. Attached to the side load tyre carriers, on the front of this van, we have a diesel tank for the diesel air heater, and then we have a second diesel tank for the diesel hot water system. Both tanks we like to put a sight gauge on it, so at a glance you can see exactly how much diesel is in it. Very easy to access these. They're protected from behind the stone guard as well, so you can top them up either side as needed. So we've designed our stone guard in-house with flexibility in mind. Not only do we put mud flaps on either side as standard, but on the back side of it, there's 2 little nuts that you can undo there, and this can be slid all the way forward should you want to protect whatever you store here. So whether it's a fireball, or some people might put bike racks on and they just want to put it behind this. So that's fully adjustable. You can slide it all the way forward if you wish, or leave it all the way back if you prefer. Because Bushtrackers are full off-road and they're designed to go anywhere, be totally self-sufficient for long periods of time, you tend to take a lot more gear with you. So because of that, our cargo bays are as large as possible. So we put on this cargo locker door that's fully insulated, helps keep the cold air out at night time. We carpet line the entire area, including the sidewalls as well. And we give you a space that is large enough to fit the largest of recliner chairs in, tables, slide out eskies, fridges. We make our own kitchens as well, which I can show you later. but it just gives you a really, really big space that's fully accessible from both sides. Plus you can lift the bed up to get into the top area as well, which can be handy with a lot larger tables. And it's all marine carpeted, so there's no gouging or scratching of linos or floorings or anything. You can slide things in and out of there all day long without having to worry about damaging anything. So looking at the interior of our cargo bay area, once again, as I said before, it's fully carpet lined. We like to put a protective cover over the water pumps and the water sterilisation system should you choose one. We also have interior LED lights on both sides as well. So it doesn't matter what side you enter this area from, you can always light it up at night time. Nice and bright and easy. We have all our tank tap openings here as well, so when you are filling your water tanks, it's a very easy, convenient spot here to just choose which tank you'd like to open and fill. Once it's full, close it, open and shut the next one as well. So very nice, easy space to work with in here. Due to the size of our cargo bays, it gives you a lot of scope and options to store various things in there. In this family van, we've actually put in a really large fridge on its own slide. There's also a nice storage tub behind as well, so great dumping ground for power leads and extra items that you might want to take with you. Although Bushtrackers have really large cargo bays, often when you're travelling you'll have items that can be smelly or fumy that you want to keep from in here and store outside of the van. So we've come up with this generator / barbecue storage locker. On this side, you can safely store a generator in here out of the way. There's a tray that you can strap the generator onto when it's in transit. You can slide it out, run it here if you wish, or even put it on the ground to run it. We have a diesel heater tank located inside here, so it's safely tucked away. No one can get to it, no one can steal your diesel or do anything with it. And there's more storage on the other side for jerry cans or another diesel tank or tools or whatever you like. On this side, we have lockable storage for items such as barbecues. So any smells that are in here, they cannot go to the other side and vice versa. So these locks are all key to lock, so every single outdoor locker on this van, you only need one key. And then inside here we have this huge big tray, so there's lots of different barbecues that will fit in here. You can slide it out, and then you can slide it out again, which now lets you barbecue outside here if you wish, without having to carry the barbecue and move it around at all. So very, very handy. A key feature with every Bushtracker caravan is that we have a 45-degree rear rake on the back of our vans. This reduces the chance of you destroying the backside of your van as you enter or exit a creek crossing. Often there can be a washout on one side or the other, and the last thing you want to do is take the back of your van out. So we've got a 45-degree rake. We polyurethane coat it with like a Raptor spray or a Dominator spray. Very durable, very easy to keep clean. You can pressure wash this down with a hose, etc. This rake then becomes a great location to put max tracks on the back as well. Very easy to access should you need to get to them. We also have really, really strong tow points on each side as well. So they're extremely tough. You can tow this van backwards out of any situation that you might get stuck in. Also at the top of the rake we have this light bar protector as well. Really good for just catching tree stumps or bollards rather than destroying your taillights. It's not too hard for this to be repaired should you ding it at any stage. Grey water tanks have become more and more popular over the years, especially with Crown land and national parks not wanting people to drop water on site. Our tanks are all polyethylene. They're spun out with gravity, so there's no seams or joins on them and in nowhere that can split or separate. A feature of our grey water tanks is that way up under here we have a little hose connection, and internally there's a nice big sprinkler system. So you can plug a hose into that, give it a really good flush out anytime you want to clean it out. Nice and easy for retaining your water. This particular van has a diesel hot water system on it, so we've put this nice little cover on there just to make it nice and neat, and there's a little outlet there. Washing machine as well has its own outlet. The pump on the machine tends to be too powerful to run it through a grey water tank, so we have to do it separately usually. In recent times, Starlink has become more and more popular with our customers, wanting to have full internet connectivity anywhere in Australia, as well as Wi-Fi phone calls, etc. Presently, this is a very popular way to do it, which is simply a data cable that we can run up the wall to the overhead cupboard. It can be connected to a Wi-Fi router, running all on 12 volts, so it doesn't use as much power as, say, the Starlink router does. Then it's simply an RJ45 connector that we can adapt to your Starlink cable, and then you can put the Starlink on the ground, or we even have telescopic poles that can be attached on the A-frame to get that Starlink up nice and high and out of the way. Being a full off-road caravan, we like to have as much clearance as possible underneath our vans. We also don't like to have any accessories hanging down lower than what the lowest point of the chassis rail is. Therefore, all the water tanks that go under the van, as many as you might choose to have, they're all mounted up really high, and there's nothing hanging down beyond this area here, so it can't be taken out by rocks and logs, etc. Being a full off-road custom manufacturer, we like to give our customers a lot of choice when it comes to suspension types. Two brands that we use are Simplicity Suspensions as well as Cruisemaster Suspension. This particular van we're running a load-sharing coil and shock Simplicity suspension. The beauty about this suspension is that it shares the load between the front and the rear wheel. And it also has twice the travel of, say, a trailing arm suspension. So as this wheel goes up over an obstacle, it can go up, say, 150 mils, but it also physically is pushing this wheel down as well. So you always have positive traction and a suspension that can move almost a foot total in its travel.